So guys, the update is coming, of course, very soon, and in the dev server we had a major change to the F-16C and the Mitsubishi F2, as you know. I already did some tests and videos about it, and they got much more thrust than they had before, right? And together with the SUFA being added, which is a 14.0 vehicle that will get the AIM-120C5, the questions started to be, started to appear. Can we see, should we see actually, that's the major thing, a better missile, maybe a better BR, higher BR, but a better missile for both the F-16C Block 50 and the Mitsubishi F2. So let's try to answer this a little bit today. So first of all, the F-16C Block 50, as you know, like I was saying, it got a buff in the thrust, which means that it will be much more on par, probably better overall, depending on situation, to the SUFA, right? The SUFA is a BR higher, and this thing is getting a lower BR. The question is, like I was saying, should it be fair to have the F-16C having something that American mains would love to see, which is the AIM-120C5 on it, but of course, with the cost of being a 14.0. Honestly, I personally would love to see that. Why is that? Because although, yes, it is an increase in BR, it is not a big increase. And let's be honest, the only thing that you are making sure that you're not seeing anymore in battles are 12.7s, which is fine by me to not see in a battle against an F-16C Block 50 from the 2000s, right? And the C5 would actually help these aircraft to be a little bit more on par with the top tiers, especially because, let's be honest guys, there isn't a lot of production models, American service F-16Cs that can be better than the Block 50 that we have in the game. Yes, we can have a Block 52, maybe with the Plus, maybe an exported model like the V models, Block 70s, something like that. But at the end of the day, the Block 50 that we have in the game is one of the most modern ones that we can have, right? So why not have the better missile with it? It would actually help this aircraft immensely in being future-proof for the future, of course, and also being a little bit more fun since it's an aircraft that has a worse radar than an F-15, and it just, is a little bit worse in general for BVR, right? So it's an aircraft that it's an amazing in a dogfight, but then it would actually stop facing the 12.7s from time to time, face more top tiers, but have a better missile for BVR, which is the only thing that this aircraft maybe lacks a little bit according to others. So it's a small change, to be honest. It would make the Americans have a counterpart to the SUFA, actually, So having a very light F-16 with a higher BR, yeah, a higher BR. But like I said, the only things, since the cap is 14.3, the only real problem over here is that we will not face 12.7s anymore. And in my opinion, this is a good thing. 12.7 should not be facing too many of these more advanced fourth generation jets if they can, right? So, yeah, in my opinion, yes, the F-16C Block 50 should be getting the AIM-120C5 and should be 14.0 because of that, together with the buff that they are receiving with the engine. It would mean that this aircraft would be one of the best F-16s in the game, if not the best. Maybe not because of the radar, but everything else, malls, etc. But it would try to be on par with the SUFA, right? Which is pretty interesting. So let me know in the comments what you think about the F-16C. But what about the Mitsubishi F2? Well, the Mitsubishi is one that, even without the buff, even without anything, it might already need a new missile. So the AM-4 is the main missile that this aircraft has, and not by any means it's a bad missile, but a lot of Japanese mains, and if you play the aircraft, you feel that the AM-4 is not the greatest missile ever. If you actually look at the performance of these missiles in StatShark and everything, you will see that this missile, although it does have a pretty good drag, in terms of being very low, it does not have a good engine, right? Which means that the aircraft, the missile, actually takes a long time to actually accelerate. So it doesn't have a lot of speed, it doesn't have a lot of energy, meaning that it doesn't go very far, it doesn't have a lot of ability to turn because of that. Problematic, right? It's not the worst missile ever, but it's by far not the best as well, right? So why not add, since a lot of people say that maybe the M120 cannot be added by the F2s, added to the F2s, which is arguably, you know, something that we need to discuss about. But if that is the case, just add the AM4B to it. Yes, maybe increase the BR. Again, I mean, the only problem here would be that you don't see any 12.7s anymore, so I don't see that as a loss, right? And unless you like to stomp poor guys that are flying 12.7 with your ISA radar and Fox 3 missiles, right? In a general sense, it's okay, right? And at the end of the day, what would the AM4 actually bring here? Even if he gets to a 14.0, he has the better thrust. It is still the best turning like F-16, modernized F-16, right? It does suffer a little bit from speed, which is another thing that would make the AM4B necessary, right? And this missile would actually make sure that it is a proper 14.0 vehicle, having an ISA seeker, apparently, and also an increased range with its better engine. Apparently, it does have a better engine. Some people say that it does not, but most sources claim that it does. So you tell me in the comments what is the truth. But in a general sense, the radar, the range is increased and it has a better tracking. Okay? So overall, they say it's 1.4 times greater than the AM4. Okay? So it would be on par with the AM120C5. You still have your ISA, but you don't have a helmet, while the F-16C has the helmet, but it doesn't have an ISA. And F-16C is faster, but the Mitsubishi F2 turns better. So it's kind of a, you know, trade-off kind of situation. Great for a 14.0. Still not as good as the 14.3s, but they would be perfect for this. So in my opinion, yes, guys, we deserve to have better missiles for the F-16C and the Mitsubishi F2, being the M120C5 and the AM4B, with the addition of the buff that is already in the dev, that is coming very soon, right? With an increasing BR, just to make sure that it is in the same BR as the Sufa, staying away from 12.7s as much as possible, okay? This is my opinion. You tell me yours, because I think that would be a great addition for these two aircraft. And I can guarantee that a lot of main players that play with these two vehicles would love to see them, okay? So let me know in the comments what you think about it. Remember, buffs are coming for these vehicles, so just think about that. We are already getting a buff, but wouldn't it be cool to have a better missile too? Let me know in the comments what you think. See you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye guys, see ya.